Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Raising an Ace. Today's episode is going to be a conclusion video.
Say hi, Ace. Come on. I know you're a little fussy today. Anyway, yeah, it's our last video in the series, so we're gonna talk about final parenting, pulling some general themes from the video. But first, let's just reflect a little bit. I mean, it was challenging doing these videos every 2 weeks, but we persevered through it, through the ups and the downs. And most of the videos were in one take too. And they were all in one shot besides a few in the beginning when our camera overheated. So that was a challenge that we worked through. And honestly, I don't know if there's another YouTuber that is doing 15 plus minute one shot videos while holding a baby on as deep of topics as we're doing. So it is a challenge, but me and Mariam, we definitely persevered through it. And so much has changed too since we started in late January. I mean, COVID-19, no one was thinking about that then. The tension in America, in terms of everything going on, the media negativity, that wasn't at the point that it's at now. And Kobe Bryant died in between our first and second take of our first video. At least we found it out during that time.
Yeah.
So I know his spirit is in all of these videos that we're doing for sure. And Ace, we'll bring him back towards the end. He's in his high chair right now. But in terms of the future content for this channel, it will be going to more self-development, psychology, life topics. And the purpose of that is, look, we really self-reflected hard on parenting these last 8 months. We covered pretty much everything there is from a psychology standpoint, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna consume all of that and then kind of transition to something else. So if you want to stay updated with us as a family with Ace, honestly, I'm okay with you hitting me up on social media. It's in the description of the video.
You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. We'll have it down below.
Yeah. And also, I'll be dropping a parenting podcast in about a month or two. So if you're a parent who parents purposefully and maybe wants to be on the podcast, hit me up in the comment section or on social media also. Yeah, so now let's get into some final perspectives. So the first thing I want to mention is, of course, Ace is in these videos, and we know he's going to see these videos when he gets older. I don't look at that as a negative thing. I think transparency is a really positive thing, open dialogue that really builds trust with a child. Yeah. And also, someone asked me a few months ago, you know, Brian, I noticed you don't really talk about stuff with a baby too much. And I'm well aware of that. You know, this video series is intentional going into psychology of parenting, and that's not really applicable for a baby. And honestly, there's so much information online about how to raise a baby. And it's not that complicated, though it's very challenging, very hard, a lot of effort, but it's not that complicated, right? There's only 4 or 5 major things you have to do. Feed a child, facilitate their play, read to them, talk to them, love them. But in terms of the deep topics we're talking about, I don't see much information online about these things. So I feel like I'm almost filling a void while doing this video series. And me and Mariam, we're being proactive with parenting. So we have a long-term perspective on it. We're not just trying to raise a happy or joyful or peaceful 5-year-old or 20-year-old. We want Ace to manifest all these character traits as he goes through life. And yeah, Ace is fussing right now, but it's tough doing it in one shot, but we're gonna persevere.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to point out, Mariam, is that we're all the videos, they're inclusive. So they're for anybody. It doesn't matter your race, gender, upbringing. No matter who your child is, these will work. I mean, in some ways you might have to tinker some of the strategies depending on how your child communicates or their personality, but overall, it's for everyone. And the character traits too, like, they're traits that I would say 95, 99% of people want their child to manifest. Right. You know, when you talk about authentic, intelligence, open-mindedness, all this stuff, it's really inclusive to everyone wants a child to be that. And even if you're not a parent watching this, you can apply it to your own life as well. And the next thing that's a common theme in the videos is, of course, it's all internal character traits. Because that's because I believe in inside-out parenting. Focus on the internal, and then the outside will take care of itself. This is tied in with the paper I wrote last year for school. I'll link it below, called the Parenting Matrix. A lot of outside behaviors for a child is from their inner character traits. And with this too, I want to mention that in society, so much focuses on outside stuff, achievements, recognition, money. But I don't believe that's what gives you fulfillment in life. It's a lot of internal things. So we really try to go deep to it, go to the root of the things that Ace is going to be doing. Right. You know, and we go beyond the surface with this stuff. So him being authentic, intelligent, all these things, we define the words very deeply and then think, like, how can we manifest this in our child? So we're really intentional with that. And another thing with this is with praise too. When you're praising your child, you know how good it is? When you're praising your child, go deep with praise. There's levels to this. So don't just praise your child about something they do externally. Don't just praise the internal character trait. Go even deeper than that. So don't just say, Ace, we're not just going to say, Ace, you're being intelligent here. We're going to say, Ace, you're being intelligent because you've been listening to us. Or you're courageous because you looked at this fear, noticed it, still went through it. So go as specific as possible, go as deep as possible with praise. And another point is, all the videos are what we want from Ace, not what we want to avoid. I think a lot of parents, they think, oh, I don't want my child to do this. I don't want them to do this. I don't want them to do this. But there's a whole nother side of it that they're missing with that.
Right.
So that's my advice while watching these videos. Think about the opposite character trait you want your child to manifest when they're doing something wrong. So if they're being mean to someone, emphasize love. If they're following the wrong crowd in school, doing the wrong thing, what's the opposite of that? They might be lacking authenticity, maybe toughness, maybe purposeful. So those videos are ones that you can watch.
Yeah.
And so much of parenting organizations out there, and I think life itself, they're always treating the negative, right? Parenting organizations sometimes stop child abuse. They stop all the negative behaviors. But how many organizations and places and programs are really teaching you how to raise a badass child? I don't think that many. So hopefully this video really is in alignment with that. Like positive psychology, what we want from Ace, how are we raising our child? And look, you don't have to do it the way we're doing it, but we're showing you how we're doing it. And Mariam, parenting is just so important. And it seems like it should be true and you should know that without me saying it. But so many people live their life without acknowledging that.
Right.
So many of the issues today can be resolved just through great parenting, honestly. Like you can really uplift society, uplift your family just through parenting. You can end generational negative cycles. You can end poverty through parenting. Like seriously. And I think we as a society need to reframe the conversation at times around who's advantaged, who's disadvantaged, who's privileged, who's not. Because it's all shallow to me. Because I guarantee you, a poor child who has two amazing, loving parents does not feel disadvantaged. And a child whose parents might make a little bit more money, but they're bad parents, that child doesn't feel privileged at all. So we really need to reframe this whole conversation around children and who's advantaged, who's not from a mental health standpoint. So Ace, he will be internally wealthy no matter what.
Right. Because
he has his mom and me being the best parents that we possibly can be. It doesn't matter what happens on the outside.
Yeah.
And parents, they don't emphasize that enough. Prioritize your child's mental health.
Ace, wait.
Oh, Mariam is changing his diaper now. But again, one-shot videos. Very few YouTubers are doing this right now, but we're doing it. And so as a parent, prioritize your child's mental health. Not giving them more money, not all that stuff. That's all shallow. And recognize your power. Did he poop a lot, Mariam?
Yes.
So recognize your power as a parent. Internally, people are not the same. You have to acknowledge that. People have varying levels of the character traits we're talking about. Varying levels of success. Some people are more intelligent than others. Some people are more authentic than others. Some people are closed-minded. Some people are open-minded. And every child and person matters and has value. But me and Mariam, we're not ignorant and naive to think that every child is on the trajectory to their greatness. Most are actually in the wrong direction. So you have to ask yourself, why is that? And I think you'll come to the conclusion that parenting is a major factor there. And if you neglect that acknowledgement, you're pretty much sacrificing your child. Your child will still be breathing, but their best self will not.
It's okay.
So you gotta take responsibility to be the best parent possible you can be. Prioritize your child.
Right.
And you may be watching this thinking, Brian, like, of course we prioritize our children. And like, seriously, do you every day? Do you every single day? A lot of parents, they use the excuse of self-care to be lazy. So they might watch TV instead of reading to their child, instead of self-reflecting on a certain strategy with their child. Mm-hmm. Everything is not in a vacuum with parenting. Things build up over time. So if your son is lying to you at age 12, that could be because you didn't emphasize an honest and authentic household from the time that boy was a baby. And if your daughter is 16 years old, being negatively influenced by social media, and doesn't want to have her own opinion on things, she might be closed-minded because you didn't emphasize open-mindednness when she was younger.
I see it, Ace.
Yeah, so everything is not in a vacuum there, so keep that in mind for sure. And with this too, I want to mention that self-care, right? don't neglect that. So I mentioned sometimes laziness in disguise is self-care. Self-care is truly caring for yourself to become the best version of yourself. So I want to reference a Kobe thing that he referenced in a podcast one time. He said that his late daughter Gianna told him one time as he was procrastinating with an ESPN documentary and writing teens book. She told him, Kobe, or Dad, that you can't just talk about it, you gotta be about it. She was like, you're telling me to do these things, but you're procrastinating yourself. Kobe took that to heart.
Yeah.
He realized, look, he can't encourage his child to achieve greatness if he's not manifesting that in that moment of his life. So you gotta chase your own greatness while you're encouraging your child to chase theirs. And whatever you tell your child, model that from your own behaviors, like we said in the introduction video. So that's all really important. Last couple points of this series that I want to mention is we put up this series for you. We could have easily self-reflected on our own on these things like we were going to do anyway, but we decided to share that.
Yeah.
And the reason is it bothers me so much that there's so much motivational, inspirational videos on YouTube to be the best person you can be. How many videos is there to be the best parent you can be? I don't see many. You know, all these videos combined hours are like 4 hours. So look, you can watch these videos in 4 hours instead of watching 2 movies. Or better yet, self-reflect on your own how to be the best parent you can possibly be. Really take that to heart. And this is tied into just raising the bar and the expectations for parenting, which I think is so necessary right now in the world. Parenting is the elephant in the room in terms of the number one thing needed to solve a lot of the issues out there. And Mariam, sometimes I hear, you know, a viral video, 2-minute video of like a father or a parent talking to a child and it's cute or something. Then the comment section is filled with people like, oh, what an amazing father, what an amazing parent. And I'm just thinking like, look, is the bar that low in parenting that literally just talking to your child deserves praise? Like, I oppose that 100%. Like, what we're doing right now, self-reflecting, this should be the norm. This is not extra. This should be the norm in parenting.
Right.
And like, Mariam, like, what is the most important trait for us to manifest?
Love.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, some people think love is the only trait you need to manifest and it's just about love. Just love your child, everything will be alright. Like, no, there's a lot more to parenting. Because parenting, just like life, is not just about doing the most important thing. It's about doing all of the important things. Frame that on your wall. And so the point is, all these videos, we want to be intentional as Ace grows up in raising him to be authentic, intelligent, purposeful, humble, confident, courageous, tough, responsible, positive, open-minded, grateful, joyful, loving, peaceful, and mindful. We want to be intentional for him to manifest all of those character traits. He will not be perfect. He will slip up along the way, make mistakes, but we want to give him the tools to bounce back from that.
Yeah.
We want to empower him to, by any positive means necessary, dominate his life.
Right.
You know, we're not teaching him what to think, we're teaching him how to think, giving him agency and control over his life.
Yeah.
And seriously, parents have to do that for this next generation, the generations to follow. You know, this is the conversation that needs to be had. And I hope this whole video series is motivating you, is encouraging you, and inspiring you to enable and empower your child to dominate their life also.
Yeah.
So you want to say goodbye, Ace?
Say yes.
Video series is over. Video series is over. Say goodbye one last time, Ace.
Say bye.
And I do want to mention, there's 2 videos to follow this, Raising an Ace highlight video, and then a tribute to Kobe where we're going to put some clips from the videos about him. But aside that, no more new material on Raising an Ace. We covered so much. Take it to heart and be the best parent that you possibly can be.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the love. Thank you.
Take care. Here's some pictures of the little guy. We appreciate all the support. Share the videos, share the message, and dominate parenting by empowering your child to dominate his or her life.